Guilford Night Correctional Center in Miami, Florida. And this is Eduardo Arama.
Good idea,
Arama
Goose.
is supposed to be locked up inside said facility, but he's not, and that's a problem. The inmate did not escape. Instead, a paperwork error triggered his early release into the public.
Nice.
What just happened to be his 52nd birthday. It was a nice present.
Congrats,
considering
Eduardo.
Arama still had just under a year to serve, linked to criminal mischief, probation violation, and shooting or throwing a deadly missile into a dwelling or vehicle.
What is a deadly missile that you can throw?
Throwing a missile into a dwelling or vehicle.
What does that mean?
After realizing the mistake,
What?
authorities issued warnings to the public, including this wanted flyer. Based on Arama's criminal record, his accidental
prime
release
brick
was a
in the
serious
reset one bony.
situation. For nearly 3 days, there was no sign of Arama.
Maybe Tug.
Until he resurfaced in an unlikely place. On a Zoom call with the Miami-Dade Circuit Court. That's
Why?
Arama, who despite being aware that he's currently a wanted man, looks pretty relaxed from an undisclosed location with a friendly little pooch on his lap. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the Broward County Court set up an easily accessible portal for remote hearings. Prior to his release, Arama had a hearing scheduled for today that he should be joining from inside the correctional facility. But instead, it looks like he's on the patio. Despite being wanted by police, he shows up for his hearing and is even a little early. At the time, the only other person on the video call is his attorney, Assistant Public Defender Fadya Salem. But after a brief conversation,
She should have just told him to hang up.
With her, he hangs up before the actual hearing begins.
Mr. Arama is a sentenced inmate. He is sentenced to state prison. He was released in error.
As you know, Mr. Arama was present. His video was working. Then he turned it off.
Ms. Salem, have you spoken with him about surrendering?
Judge,
Yeah, he said he doesn't want to.
Him. This is his only request. He has only but a few possessions left to his name and a dog. And he's
Thanks to resub
merely
10
asking
and gifts
for
of
the
Brian.
court to give him a date to surrender so that he can find somebody to take those possessions.
Despite the fact that Arama is supposed to be in jail, Salem continues to make the case for a little more free time for her client.
Your Honor, he's not a flight risk. You know, answers the authorities' calls, appears in court on Zoom, is not at risk for a flight. We're merely asking for a day
As the resub base said.
so that he can get his possessions to somebody to take care of.
But
Just let him go at this point.
Seems to think Arama's dog-sitting vacation has lasted long enough.
He's had that day, Ms. Salem. He was released on Monday. It's now Thursday. He surrendered today.
Eduardo Arama was taken back into custody.
I don't know what that means. Like, how did he throw a missile into a car?
The Miami-Dade Department of Corrections issued a statement saying, quote, "Our review."
Oh, nice. Just kind of big dickin' for a moment. Then changed his mind.
32-year-old Manson M. Bryant is in court.
Easy tier 1 police brutality and the resub bong hits.
Aggravated robbery, kidnapping, abduction, and carrying a concealed weapon. All stemming from a violent home invasion he committed with 2 others.
Easy tier 1 cosmic brownie and the resub Eric.
The judge
Oh,
handing
sweet.
down
Thanks,
the
Eric.
sentence is the Honorable Eugene Lucci.
What's up,
Bryant
Eugene?
has appeared before 3 previous times for different crimes. In the past, Bryant has had words with the judge during sentencing. This time around, Manson expressed remorse to the judge, saying, quote, "I've made a lifetime of bad decisions. I am truly sorry. I respect you, and I respect your decision."
Oh, that's very sweet.
That decision.
Am I free to go? Circle yes or no.
Court determines
Do you like me?
that his conduct and his criminal history shows that consecutive terms are needed to protect the public from future crime.
At this point, it's safe to assume that Bryant will be spending some time in prison, but just how much remains to be seen.
Court sentences you to prison on count 1, aggravated burglary, felony 1, for 8 years.
Pass him another note.
3 years on the firearm specification. Court sentences you on count 3, aggravated robbery, for 8 years. Plus
Overall,
3
this isn't
years
too
on the
bad.
Firearm specification for a total
nothing.
of 22 years with credit for 231 days.
Child's play. Oh, fuck. Turns out he actually is racist. That'd be huge.
That you had a certain amount of remorse. I was mistaken. The court determined maximum
Well, I mean, if I steal something, I'm gonna feel kind of bad, but if I also get, like, sentenced for 22 years for it, I'm gonna be fucking pissed, too.
Trying to calm Bryant down.
Granted, his charges are more serious, but still. You can be remorseful and still pissed.
So it's 28 years with credit for 21 days. All right, you can take them.
Bryant's outburst leads the judge to impose the maximum sentence allowed for his conviction. He'll now spend 28 years behind bars.
I mean, at that point, it doesn't matter. The extra 6 is kind of worthless.
The defendant has shown me that he
Let it ride.
has no remorse whatsoever, and therefore the court determines that maximum imprisonment is needed. He poses the greatest likelihood of recidivism.
Good word, Eugene. Excellent work.
Next up, we head to a traffic
You really nailed that
proceeding
one for
in
Scrabble.
Sacramento, California. The court clerk is waiting on
There's
the
a tier 1
defendant,
Don't
Scott
Punch Me
Green,
Man.
who's appearing
And the
today
tier 1
for
Paper
speeding
Planes. And the
license
resub
tag
Oprah,
violations.
Reaper, and the Prime Nick
There he
and
is.
Wally.
The court clerk is waiting on
There's
the
a tier 1
defendant,
Don't
Scott
Punch Me
Green,
Man.
who's appearing
And the
today
tier 1
for
Paper
speeding
Planes. And the
license
resub
tag
Oprah,
violations.
Reaper, and the Prime Nick
There he
and
is.
Wally.
Hello?
Hello, Mr. Green?
Yes.
Yes, defendant Green is also Dr. Scott Green,
Hey,
a
Scott.
plastic surgeon.
Hi. Are you available for trial? It kind of looks like you're in an operating room right now.
I am, sir. I'm in the operating room. Yes, I'm available for trial. Go right ahead.
Okay, let me...
That's gonna be a horrible
advise you that
plastic
proceedings
surgery
right now,
job.
They are being live streamed on YouTube. That's because traffic trials are required by law to be open to the public. Since we're limiting physical access to the courtroom right now, that's how we're making them open to the public, okay?
Okay.
I love Zoom
Streaming
trials.
live,
This was such a good
Dr.
idea.
Green is ready to go. The good doctor's sworn in and continues to multitask as he waits for Court Commissioner Gary Link to get things started.
So, can everybody hear me?
Yes, sir.
Officer Monroe, Mr. Green. So, unless I'm mistaken, I'm seeing a defendant that's in the middle of an operating room, appearing to be actively engaged in providing services to a patient. Is that correct, Mr. Green?
No.
Yes, sir.
I'm at home.
Commissioner
Cosplay.
Link seems a bit concerned about Dr. Green's setting and his ability to continue the hearing while performing a facelift on a patient.
Oh, that's
I
rough.
do not feel comfortable for the welfare of a patient if you're in the process of operating that I would put on a trial, notwithstanding the fact that the officer's here today. What's,
Sir, I have another surgeon right here who's doing the surgery with me, so I can stand here and allow them to do the surgery also.
Not at all. I don't think so. I don't think that's appropriate. I think I'm going to come up with a different date when you're not actively involved.
Can we also get
participating,
his medical license taken away for this shit? Are you kidding me?
attending to the needs of a
This
patient.
is fucked up.
Looks like Dr. Green's plan isn't going over so well with the court.
I apologize, Your Honor, to the court. Sometimes surgery doesn't always go as
The court,
as
you know,
efficiently as we
it
hope.
happens. We want to keep people healthy. We want to keep them alive. That's important.
Yeah, well, let's not get carried away. It's plastic surgery. He's probably just doing a nose job.
Although the Zoom received plenty of attention from the media, the original court business was resolved when Dr. Green paid his fines just a few days later.
Your Honor, find the case Nicoletti versus Stevens, case number 06721.
I don't really know what a Jesus,
Next,
facelift
we take you
is.
inside the Oakland
It's under the
County
impression it was
Circuit
any work
Court
done
in
to the
Detroit,
face.
Michigan.
So like the nose.
Judge is Martha Anderson.
May it please the court, Your Honor. Paul Nicoletti appearing on behalf of myself.
That's attorney Paul Nicoletti, who's in court because of an
Face is
ongoing
drooping,
feud
face
with
go
a
up.
former
Got
client,
it.
Karen Stevens.
Good afternoon, Judge. Karen Stevens, in pro per for my motion for sanctions against Mr. Nicoletti for this vexatious and frivolous PPO.
Stevens claims Nicoletti has petitioned the court for a personal protection order against her over accusations of stalking. She's here to fight the order and try to bring sanctions against Nicoletti.
My motion for sanctions against Mr. Nicoletti for this vexatious and frivolous PPO.
I'm sorry, on this what?
I have a motion for sanctions against...
I know that. And the purpose of the sanctions are based on what?
It was a frivolous and vexatious PPO based on nonsense. I am not stalking Mr. Nicoletti.
I haven't signed a PPO.
Just
Uh-oh.
to clarify, the personal protection order that Stevens is referring to has not even been issued.
His petition for a PPO. Let me...
Okay, were you served?
No, I wasn't, but may I...
No, you may not.
I'm confused.
You ask to sanction someone when you haven't even been served.
That's the point.
Stevens, do not interrupt me when I'm speaking, ma'am.
I have a constitutional right to be heard.
On what basis? There is no case before me, ma'am, other than the fact that you filed this frivolous motion, taking up this court's time for no good reason.
I think it's a good
other
reason.
than
Entertainment.
your own personal vendetta against this man. I did not issue a PPO. And here you are taking up my time so that you want me to chastise him and make him pay money? No, ma'am. Your relief is denied, and in addition to that, I am sanctioning you with costs of $500.
Nice, get fucked.
So not only does
Idiot.
Stevens fail to get sanctions against Nicoletti, but she's hit with a $500 fine of her own. Unhappy with the decision, she has some choice words for the judge.
Contempt of court, let's go, speed run.
I beg your pardon?
I knew it was fixed.
Miss Stevens, I highly suggest that you just exit my courtroom and go pay the sanctions before I find you in contempt.
But the story doesn't end there.
They fight.
Through a clerical mistake, Stevens is back before Judge Anderson.
Oh god,
4
welcome
months
back.
later.
Now they're friends? Let's go.
Court, Karen Stevens.
Miss Stevens, the last time you appeared in court, the court ordered that you pay $500 in costs. The clerk's office made a mistake with respect to your credit card, and only $5 was assessed as opposed to the $500. When the clerk's office attempted to correct the mistake they made, you basically objected to your credit card company, and that brings you here today.
As you said, Billy.
Do you have the $495?
I have not played that, don't punch me.
Owed?
I have my credit card, but I did file an objection and an answer to this order to show cause that wasn't properly served, didn't have an affidavit of merit.
Looks like Stevens still wants to discuss the protection order, but Judge Anderson isn't having it.
Miss Stevens, do you have $495 with which to pay today?
I just said I have my credit card. I do not have cash.
Very well then, Miss Stevens. You may go down to the clerk's office, pay $495 forthwith to take care of the $500 that this court assessed you the last time you were here.
But Karen Stevens isn't one to go quietly.
Let's go,
I don't
Karen.
know what statutes or court rules you rely on to sanction me in the first place. That's part of due process.
Miss Stevens, do you wish to comply with my request, or do you wish me to find you...
Is it a court order? I need a court order.
Miss Stevens, my clerk will call down to the clerk's office and let them know you are coming.
There will be no court orders, what you're saying?
Miss Stevens, please do as I've directed you to do. Thank you.
Stevens ultimately lost her feud with the judge and Nicoletti. She was not only ordered to pay the fine she owed the court, but Nicoletti's attorney's fees as well.
Hey, happy ending.
Thanks for being a fan of Court Cam. Subscribe to A&E.
Good work, Karen. She did pretty well, all things considered. I think that art degree that she had really paid off there in court.